Good morning, Rising Sun Church of God family, and all family and friends watching this video. Well, it's Sunday. Let's celebrate the Lord together. I have a question for you. Are you a little tired of the storm we're dealing with? You know, we've been inside. They've shut things down. You know, sometimes we're good. Sometimes we get cabin fever. But this is a storm. It's an invisible storm, as they say. But in life, we have to deal with storms. Storms come on everybody. Just because we're Christians doesn't mean we don't deal with storms. We have storms of all types. Major storms, light storms, storms that come, storms that go. But the Bible says that it rains on the just and the unjust all at the same time. So just because we're believers doesn't mean we don't deal with problems. But it made me start thinking about storms. And I love this story in the Bible in Matthew chapter 14. It's a very familiar story. You remember, Jesus sent the disciples in the boat, and he went up on the mountain to pray. And a storm comes up, and the disciples are terrified, and they're afraid. And all of a sudden, there's Jesus. He comes down from the mountain from praying, and he walks out to the disciples walking on the water. It's a miracle. It's amazing. They're terrified. They think he's a ghost. And Jesus says, it's okay, guys. It's all right. Calm down. I'm here. I'm not a ghost. But I love Peter in this story. Because Peter says, you know Peter, the old lunkhead fisherman, he's a lot like me. He's a hard head at times. But Peter says, Lord, if that's you, let me come walking to you on the water. And Jesus said, come. So Peter got out of the boat, and Peter was doing pretty good. He's walking on the water, but the wind and the waves pick up. And here's the problem. Peter takes his eyes off of Jesus. He puts it on circumstances. He puts it on the storm. He looks at the wind and the waves, and he starts to sink down. And Peter says something very remarkable. Lord, save me. And Jesus reaches down, he pulls him out of the water, he restores him, and they get on the boat. And Jesus says to him, why did you doubt? Where is your faith? What made me start to think, well, you know what? Peter is just a fisherman, and God called him. And I said, you know what? There's been many times that I got out of the boat and started to walk towards Jesus. And then guess what? I started to sink down because I took my eyes off of Jesus. But I know the more I continue to grow in God and fix my sights on Jesus, the King of Kings and Lords of Lords, and put my sights on him, it doesn't matter what's going on around me. So we're all dealing with a storm. It's affecting us in different ways. But I want to challenge you today to get your feet wet. God's calling you. He's a miracle-making God. Just a minute. I feel a little squishy here. Just a second. Bear with me. A lot of water. You know why I got water in my shoe? Because I've been walking on the water towards Jesus. I got wet feet. God said, come, and I've come. And I've sunk in the past, but I've decided I'm not going to sink anymore. I don't care what the storm is. I'm going to put my eyes on Jesus. I'm going to focus on Jesus, and Jesus is calling you to do that too. So would you get wet feet this week? Would you get wet feet for Jesus? He's telling you, get out of your boat. You're so pulled in with the storm. Some people are dealing with depression and anger and family fights. I'm saying today, that's Jesus. Get out of your boat. Get your feet wet. Walk towards Jesus. Let him touch you. Let him embrace you. Let him love you and give you life. And if you start to doubt, you'll start to sink. But you can call out like Peter did and said, Lord, save me. Lord, save me. And he will save you. But you got to call out to him. Don't doubt. Call out to him. Get out of your boat. Be set free and love God. That's right. I'm excited about God. I'm excited about having wet feet. And I want to challenge you too, to get out of your boat, get your feet wet, cry out, him save you. And when he hears you cry out, he will save you. And he will restore you. And he will fill you. And it doesn't matter what the storm is in the life. It doesn't matter if it's coronavirus. It doesn't matter what comes your way. Embrace Jesus, and he'll say, peace, be still. I love you, family. God bless your holy bones, and have an amazing week.